Live today. Still not able to comprehend what happened yesterday between Pakistan and Zimbabwe. Simple. 43 needed of 39. 6 wickets in hand. Yet you lose by 1 run.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, and we have Nikhil and Vikrant, our two eagles from Western Australia at Perth. Gentlemen, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can. And Nikhil, 5.5 hour journey from Sydney to Perth, right? It took you 5.5 hours by flight?
Yes, it's almost like I felt like I'm taking a flight from Mumbai to Joburg. Exactly. That's about 6.5.
You could have easily traveled out of Asia, in that time.
In fact, Delhi to Dubai was 3.5 hours. The longest flight you take in India, usually from Delhi to Chennai, is 3.5 hours. This is like come to a different world.
Yep, indeed. In these 5.5 hours, Nikhil and Vikrant, could you comprehend how Pakistan managed to botch it up against Zimbabwe?
We've been trying to do that since last night. In fact, most of the Pakistani former players have also been trying to do that. In fact, I was surprised that almost everybody, all the Pakistani former players, are now saying that they knew this was on the cards and that they've been vindicated. Which is surprising because in India, normally if the team loses, like they lost last time, there was criticism. We were critical of their play, but I think this time Pakistan, the players would feel very slighted, and most of the criticism has been below the belt, so as to say. Characters are being assassinated. Babar Azam, for all the good that he's done so far in his life, has been undone. So that's the situation right now.
See how much difference does 11 months make. 11 months ago, Pakistan could do no wrong. They topped their group, made it to the semi-final, and we thought that Indian cricket is in doldrums. Pakistan is a better team. Asia Cup, they beat you, reached the final. 2 games that they've lost, and everything has gone downhill for them. I think that's one major difference. That India also lost last time around, and there was criticism, but not like the criticism that we see with the Pakistani. We were watching a few media channels. Rahul knows that we keep a close eye on a lot of Pakistani YouTubers and media channels. We were listening to them. It was as if it was the end of the world.
You must have had a good laugh then.
They were waiting for them to lose.
Yeah, we had a good laugh. Did you watch those? He was so eager to watch them that for the 5.5 hour flight you were talking about, he said, I'll download these 2-3 1 hour long videos and watch them on the flight. That will keep me busy. But
technology challenge. And Nikhil,
that they've seen the reels, the Insta reel, the technologically challenge that you bought an adapter which couldn't fit in.
I think just want to ask one question. How's the weather there?
Yes, Pragyan.
How's the weather there? That is the biggest question right now.
As you can see, Nikhil is
wearing a jacket.
He's wearing a jacket, so am I. At the same time, I think what has happened is that during the day, I'm told that Perth behaves like Perth. It's not very hot, but it is okay. Evenings are a bit colder, chillier.
So no, the wind, I must say, it's very windy, but I must say that the wind is not very cold. Melbourne, it was windy, but it was chilly winds. Here, it is a lot of wind when you go out, but the wind isn't very chilly. So that's the difference. But daytime, we are hearing it's pretty, summer-like hot. So we'll experience it tomorrow because you only reached there evening.
Pragyan, do you have anything to say how and why Pakistan? Of course, we know how they messed it up, but technically, if you would want to throw some light.
I think first thing we have to appreciate what Zimbabwe has done.
Yes.
I know we can say that it's a big upset, but saying that you have to see where Zimbabwe has reached. I was just seeing one older tweet. where they were requesting for sponsors to sponsor
Yes.
them, where they don't have to
Kits and
stitch
Ryan
their
Ball had
shoes.
put out on
Yeah,
Instagram
exactly.
a very
Yeah.
made up shoe. Can you give us a sponsor?
From there, they have motivated themselves. In life, you need lot of those turning points where it really pushes you hard to achieve something. That's what they've done. And saying that, I think somewhere that loss to India has put that kind of pressure on them, and this game maybe added little bit of more pressure on them. Had they won that game against India, it would have been a different thing. They lost against India and they were under pressure. They went and played against Zimbabwe. Maybe mentally they were not there. It looked like that because their concerns were not addressed. If you see in warm-up game also, they dropped catches and that was continuing. It is not like it was done there. So maybe they were a little shaken because the way India won, the way Virat dominated, that rubbed on them.
Yep.
Maybe that is where they did not recover.
I also feel, Pragyan, that Pakistan never had plan B. They had a good plan A. If Babar and Rizwan would have scored runs, the situation could have been different. But I don't think Pakistan had any plan B. What if Babar and Rizwan both of them failed in one game? Now what has happened is they've failed in both the games. And the middle order, to be very honest, is not up to the mark, has never been up to the mark. And, in Pakistan, people would be talking about bringing Sarfaraz back, or Hafiz back, or Shoaib Malik back. But I don't think that is any solution.
You're going back.
You can't. What they did not anticipate, Rahul, was that Babar and Rizwan would not score runs. Babar, I'm surprised. 2 bad games. He's a good player. Even in these conditions, he's a good enough player.
That too against Zimbabwe.
You could see that pressure. And you could see that pressure now on Babar. Maybe the the criticism that he's been facing about his strike rate may have ruffled him, may have put pressure on him. He's gotten out playing bad shots. Rizwan, again, we knew this would not be the same Rizwan as you would see in the subcontinent or in Zimbabwe or in Dubai. Rizwan has his limitations. And if you can't play good backward shots on the offside in Australia, you can't score runs. So most of the shots that he will play would either be a nudge towards the mid-off, or he would go cross and hit towards the mid-wicket. These pitches do not, it doesn't really allow such batsmen. And the runs that he got would either be a top edge, which would go behind the wicketkeeper, or maybe, 1 or 2 shots he would have connected. But they are under pressure. Shan Masood, I found, is the most technically suited Pakistani batsman, other than Babar, who could have scored runs here. And if he had stayed, he would have won the game. Unfortunate that he got out the way that he did. And the likes of Haider and Iftikhar and the others, they were not good enough. They could have still won the game. Shadab threw his wicket away. Nawaz
threw his wicket away.
He threw his wicket away. And, that was it.
I think also just one bit if I'll add, I think everyone from the Pakistan, whether it was the media or former players or fans or whoever, I think they took that criticism of Babar and Rizwan too far. They had one good thing going. What was the one good thing that they had? That Babar and Rizwan were getting runs. But if you keep finding faults there, and no matter how much you say that outside noise doesn't bother you, that criticism gets to you. What have you done? You've actually ruined their confidence as well. So the one good thing that you had, you ruined it by saying, oh, they're not getting at a certain strike rate. Yesterday you didn't meet the strike rate. But if you're going to be denting their confidence, then this is what you'll get. You anyway didn't have the rest of the batting lineup. The one thing that was working for you, you kept questioning it. Now they are not scoring runs. So you forget plan B. Then plan A also, I think there is a big hand there of everyone that kept scrutinizing their opening partnership and looking for flaws even there.
And wrong selections, I think, Pragyan. They should have played Mohammad Wasim Jr. Against India at the MCG and could have gone in with an extra batsman here. But they did the exact opposite.
Yep.
Only 5 bowlers.
Only 5 bowlers in that India game, and here 1 batsman gone.
Just to add to what Nikhil said, I'm not talking about the fans, but the voices that matter in Pakistan, maybe some of the journalists or YouTubers. At times, I feel they want this Pakistan team to fail. Perhaps that is one of the reasons why this, there's so much of tankeet.
I'll tell you, I tell you why that happens, Rahul. I think because I mean, you like it or not, sometimes you get divided into camps. So, there'll be a
Then you have
Karachi
Lahore,
camp,
Karachi camp.
Sarfraz. Yes, exactly. So if Sarfraz is not doing well, or he's not part of the team, he's out, or Shoaib Malik has been excluded from the team, or Hafiz from Lahore side has been excluded. So that
Nikhil,
fight, their individual fights, takes a toll on the team.
But Nikhil, as a professional athlete, as a professional cricketer, this is what you get. Virat for the last couple of years, even he was criticized. But where is he today? He got India out of jail in that game against Pakistan, that unbeaten 82, and then again a half century against Netherlands. So that is the hallmark of a great player.
I'd like to add, see, that's a very good point that you have brought in. But Virat, because he was given that cushion, he's one of the greatest batsmen. But see what the captain and the coach, every time there was a talk about Virat, the captain and the coach and the team management said that we have trust in Virat. So that is what you want when you talk about Babar Azam and Rizwan and the entire team. So the core team has to stay together. See, these situations will arise when you're playing a sport.
But Pragyan, there is one more allegation against Babar, is that he has a coterie. He has a coterie of his friends who will make it into that 11.
See, everybody will have their plus or minus things. See, that is something which they will address after the tournament ends. So that is up to their board. But what I am saying is, when they're in the tournament, they're still alive, whatever it is. So the best thing that they can do is stay together. Because end of the day, you've got your team. If you think about what is going to happen next, then you're totally out of the tournament.
Fair enough.
And to add to Pragyan's point, in India, at least, you look at most of the big players, they get a sufficiently long rope despite a prolonged period of failure. In Pakistan, there's always been this rotation policy, open door policy. 1 year, Sarfraz, for example, won you the Champions Trophy in 2017.
That is the reason why everybody is saying that he was perhaps the best captain that you had.
Yes.
And see, for in a chase of 131, I'm saying you didn't have to do anything special. 131, the kind of strike rates that Babar Azam or Rizwan have, the career strike rates that I'm talking about, it was ideal for them. Okay, even if they were dismissed. But here, Babar Azam's captaincy has to be questioned. See, not once, not twice, but this is the third time. Against, when we talk about somebody like Virat Kohli, I remember when he was removed as the ODI captain, in a presser he came out, he was asked, can you pinpoint a reason, or maybe lack of an ICC trophy was one of the reasons why you were removed as captain. He said quite possible. Now I am talking about a Babar Azam, that is Virat Kohli, who perhaps had who's the best captain that India has ever had in Test cricket, and he has results and records to back that statement. Now Babar Azam, in the Asia Cup, Sri Lanka were 58 for 5.
Yeah.
It was his captaincy that he allowed Sri Lanka to reach 170 odd runs, and eventually Pakistan lost. Now, the game against India were reeling at 31 for 4. Eventually, India won that game, chased down that target of 160, irrespective of whether it was Virat Kohli, Hardik Pandya, or whoever it could have been. So, and yesterday he allowed against Zimbabwe also, on a track where their fast bowlers would have been very menacing, on a Perth track. You would have fancied your chances against a team like Zimbabwe. You allowed them to reach 131, and then you mess it up. So I think Babar is a very good player, but a lot of talk has been happening, a lot of chatter has been happening around Babar Azam. Perhaps they also lack role models in Pakistan, role models as in cricketers. They don't have a superstar, so they needed one person, and that is Babar Azam. If people had started comparing him with Virat Kohli. I think Virat Kohli is in a different league when you compare him with Babar Azam. Babar Azam, the moment Pakistan lost yesterday, Zimbabwe was trending. Why? Because it's not Babar Azam's fault. Majority of his runs have come against Pakistan over a period of time. they lived in isolation as a cricket nation. Not too many countries were wanted to travel to Pakistan. So they played a lot of their cricket in Middle East, and then against minnows also. And Babar Azam got a few good runs. But now this is how you test yourself in a World Cup, in a T20 World Cup. Zimbabwe, perhaps they were hungrier than Pakistan, and as you said, the loss to India may have dented their confidence.
No, we're on digital.
See, this is
just say hi.
what India faced in 1999.
Just one sec, guys.
They had a bad loss to South Africa.
There's somebody here who's here to say hi. You recognize him? He's a recognizable face. Just met us on the.
See the kind of people you meet just walking around these days. Big digital star. Only wondering.
With a big TV star.
Hey, with the star.
With the star.
All well.
All nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Mr.
Hi,
Bhogle.
Mr. Harsha Bhogle. Hi, sir.
Yeah.
No, just to 1 second, just add on to. I think there's a bit of a delay, so maybe you're
Yeah,
late. Just to add on to. Completely agree with the Babar Azam point, but I just tell you, no matter how big a player you are, you need some sort of confidence. Again, take a look at Sikandar Raza. I was reading that fascinating story. The guy couldn't sleep the day before this game, so nervous. All he needs is that one clip from Ricky Ponting he sees where Ricky Ponting is comparing him to Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath. He says, I see that clip and I was like, wow, am I that good? Am I as senior? Am I as important to my team? And then he goes and becomes the game changer. So he's an experienced guy, 30 plus, has played cricket for so long. Everyone needs that kind of reassurance no matter how big you are. So if you're a Babar Azam, you're a Rizwan, when you're facing criticism all the time, isko ek hi shot aata hai, ye yahi khelta hai, ye strike rate nahi hai.
The interesting part is how a Sialkot born cricketer actually plots their downfall, Pakistan's downfall. Sikandar Raza.
Just one point. It was here in Australia about 30 years ago. Pakistan were in a similar situation in the World Cup. They've been losing their games. They just had one victory.
90.
And then in Adelaide, they got all out for 72. It started to rain and the points were split.
Yep.
Imran Khan called the team to his room and said, "मैंने हिसाब लगा लिया, अब हम यहाँ से World Cup जीत रहे हैं." That was his belief. The team thought, कप्तान ने अगर हिसाब लगा लिया तो भी लग गया होगा. They started winning games, made it to the semi-finals, won the final, won the tournament. Pakistan can still do this, but not this Pakistan.
This Pakistan team.
Exactly. You don't have an Imran Khan. You don't have an Inzamam Ulaq. You don't have a Javed Miadad, Waqar Yunus.
All the crucial part is,
I think
Waqar
wasn't there.
Inzi and Javed, where did they play? Middle order. What is the middle order in this current Pakistan team? Almost non-existent.
But everybody has been criticizing Pakistan that they don't have a middle order, that they don't have a middle. I would disagree. I think they've not been given opportunities. Somebody like Iftikhar Ahmed, if he can get runs against India in a pressure situation where his team was almost down and out, if he can get runs in that kind of a situation with good cricketing shots, he was slow to start with, but when he got an opportunity, when he knew it is time to go after the bowlers, he got those runs. 4 sixes in a space of 6 balls, which means that batsman has some ability. I think maybe it is the lack of leadership or
too much inconsistency.
Exactly.
Achha, tell me one thing about the middle order. What was Haider Ali doing here? That one ball, which is straight, like it was like a, what is that? Rabbit in front of headlights. That sort of a situation. I had no idea. Yeah, come on.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if you're going to have batsmen like that, really underconfident, that middle order.
And something very similar to what India did in the last T20 World Cup. India lost to Pakistan in that first game. After all, it was just one game. First game that India lost. And they changed their batting order in the next game. Yesterday, in fact, Pakistan lost that game to India, and what they did, they changed. In fact, they got Haider Ali in place of Asif Ali.
Yes.
So that is also pressing a panic button, and that too against a team like Zimbabwe. So
it is simple. There were 2 moments in that game. 2 moments which changed the entire perspective. But again, you pointed it out. Dropped catches. Is it a new phenomenon for Pakistan? It's been there ever since they were created. They just can't catch. I think it's an urban legend or something. Why did Wasim Akram and Waqar Yunus get all their wickets bowled or LBW? They didn't trust their fielders to catch.
That will be little.
Yeah, I mean, that's an urban legend that is going on.
But only thing as a cricketer, what I see is there is no clarity and no confidence.
Yes.
See, that is something which you need to rebuild. That is what I think Virat did with the test team, and that is what Rohit is doing with the white ball team now. Because once you give them clarity and freedom and then confidence to show that they can deliver, that is when you will find those players who are 70% good, they'll become 80-90% good.
Yep.
So that is what it happens. So for that you need to give them that exposure, and that is where I think Pakistan lagged. They totally depended on their quick bowlers and those two openers. And once you tackle those fast bowlers and then you tackle these two openers, they were exposed, because 3 or 4 guys cannot win you tournaments. They can win you games.
Exactly.
That's about it.
I think I'm afraid this is all the time that we have, because Nikhil Nas and of course Pragyan will be back for this show, but later. And
just one question, if I can ask Pragyan, what does Pragyan think out of that game that we saw in Perth, Zimbabwe versus Pakistan? What are the learnings for a team like India playing at the Optus Stadium? What do you think?
I think it is very important what kind of pressure you put on the opponent. South Africa is a good team. What kind of pressure you put, and once you have them, don't let things slip out. That's what we have seen with Pakistan. Because if tomorrow also you play another game with Zimbabwe, if Pakistan plays, Pakistan will beat them. But the problem what happened was, when Pakistan was trying to create that pressure, somehow Zimbabwe came out of it. If you see, while batting, they looked very compact, Zimbabwe. They were trying to face those bouncers, but they never showed any discomfort or any less courage. So that is something which is very important, I feel. One, because two teams are really good. So the team that handles the pressure well and puts the pressure back consistently will win. If you just put your leg out of the pedal, then I believe that the other team will catch up, because the wicket is very sporty.
Yep. And India has to play South Africa on this very ground, the new Optus Stadium in Perth. Do you think, if you actually look at both the bowling attacks, do you think it will be difficult for Indian batsmen compared to what the South African batsmen would face in terms of, because they have the kind of pace that perhaps would need?
I wouldn't say it will be difficult, but I would say it will be little challenging, because our batsmen, you see, look at the batting skill that we have. Everybody is really good. They have good technique. It is not like they get exposed to the quicker bowlers. None of them get exposed. So you have to apply yourself. That is the reason I said that we have to play well. And that pressure is very important, because without pressure, if you play a practice game, you will see a lot of players doing really well. But when you put the pressure, you will see very few people delivering. That is the reason why Virat is so special. So that pressure is very important, how you put it back on them.
Yes.
And they will try and put the pressure back on us.
Yep. So for the first time, they'll be playing at the Optus, a T20A, although they did play a test there, India.
Exactly.
In 2018. So
and they won that one.
No, they lost
T20.
They have never played a T20 at Optus. They played a test in 2018 there, but we lost that.
T20 never happened there, I guess.
The two T20As have happened, but 5 T20As, but India is not featured in them yet.
No, basically I'm talking about India only.
Yeah, they are not featured. The first time they'll be playing at the Optus.
Anyways, we'll be back soon. You can always subscribe to Sports Today and also press that bell icon, so that any time we are live with any sort of an update or information, you get to know it first. And also do join us at 6:30 on India Today TV, because Pragyan will be joined by Sunil Gavaskar and Nikhil Nas from
Perth.
Perth.
And also we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram also. Show us some love there. Thank you. Bye-bye. Vanakkam.